Have you ever experienced being engulfed by the weight of emotional attachment and being caught in an unbreakable cycle? To let you know, you're not alone in feeling that letting go can be difficult, feeling helpless and mired in their feelings. However, there is a bright side inspired by the idea that change is not only feasible, but also easily within your grasp. This movie will highlight 10 timeless lessons from Stoic ancient thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca. Strong Stoic guidelines to assist you in emotionally separating from someone. And why is this necessary? Transformative? As Seneca sagely observed, detachment doesn't bind the brave, imply turning icy or uninterested. Rather, it refers to discovering inner strength and clarity. In this video, we'll examine the profound Stoic principles that will lead you to emotional freedom. As you incorporate these routines into your everyday existence, you'll find methods that are both sensible and effective for releasing the hold of emotional attachment, enabling you to recover your composure and concentrate on what really counts. Picture bidding. Farewell to the letting go of your mental chains and accepting your newfound awareness. With concentration, the Stoic principles will enable you to control your emotions. Marcus Aurelius once remarked that you have power over things if you are resilient and wise. You'll find strength by realizing this in your head rather than through external occurrences. By putting these lessons into practice, you'll discover how to put your inner serenity above external. In what situation are you prepared to release yourself from the bonds of sentimental attachment and welcome the power of personal development? Then watch this video where we walk you through 10 difficult behaviors that will change how you approach emotional detachment. Let's start by posing the question, if not mental tranquility, then what does our own self-worth actually consist of in life? Come along as we examine these guidelines leading to a freed Stoic mentality. If you liked and found this video useful, please select the subscribe button to join our community and receive more informative information. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. We would love to hear from you. To put it simply, emotional freedom begins today. Let's get started. Together, the first rule of emotional liberation is the capacity of detachment. Have you ever wondered how someone else controls your emotions as though they were a puppet? Because of your attachments, you've given them a great deal of control, and this is where the power of when detachment is used. It doesn't mean that you cease caring. Rather, it means, why is detachment so important when you begin to live a life where your contentment and serenity aren't determined by outside forces? Thought-provoking, recall the insight of Epictetus, who stated that we suffer not from the things that happen in our lives, but how we view them. Detachment is about regaining control while realizing that you have no influence over outside forces. You have the power to decide how you react to them. Consider how we react when we cling too much. When they start to exert power over us, it's as though they're giving someone else the remote control of your emotions, enabling them to change the stations whenever they like. Impact can determine whether you're happy or unhappy, and in severe situations, it can cause you to make decisions that cannot be undone. Detachment is about taking back. Imagine yourself using that remote and choosing the channels you want to watch on your own. Emotions are like a kite, with each string bound to a particular object or person, shows a possible direction in which, should you hold on to it, your emotions may be drawn. You're at the mercy of the wind's Stoicism if you play one string too tightly or too many. Encourages us to let go and realize that, even though we can't control the wind, we can choose which strings to. Using this strategy helps you stay grounded and not become aloof or uncaring. Let's start practically by determining what or who you are excessively attached to. Then consider why you are looking for validation and what you are scared of. Knowing the source of your attachment whether it be from loneliness or something else, is the first step in releasing its hold and taking part in things that make you feel good by concentrating on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. You can find fulfillment and purpose. Once you embrace your own strength and ideals, you start to anchor yourself. Detachment. You begin to perceive the world differently and realize that your value is independent on outside factors, conditions, but is fundamental and unwavering. This understanding gives you strength to proceed with confidence and clarity, free from the mental constraints of attachment. Keep in mind, as Seneca once stated, "He who is brave is free." By being detached, you are truly interacting with life rather than retreating from it. With a calm head and a steady heart, comprehending rule number 2. Have you ever pondered why we cling so strongly to particular people or circumstances? What motivates this impulse to cling on, even when it hurts us? And how can we break free from it by realizing that attachment is an essential step in the process? Let's go into this in order to move toward emotional detachment and personal independence. Idea that uses the Stoic philosopher's insights to direct our attachment at richness, according to the Stoic philosopher Epicurus, has its roots in our ego. Consists of having few wants and not many material belongings, which is this wisdom demonstrates the fundamental nature of our commitment to our needs and desires. While we're linked to something or someone, we frequently act out of ego, looking for security or a sense of affirmation. Identity from outside sources visualize a newborn who exudes happiness and unaffected by the intricacies of ego. As we mature, our ego starts to absorb the driver's seat. Our lives are cluttered with attachments, whether they are to people, things, or ideas, skew our perception and divert us from our actual. Have you ever experienced the essence, which is love and contentment with oneself? Your enjoyment is dependent on the presence or approval of another person. This is a blatant indication of an attachment motivated by ego. To start separating ourselves from these attachments, we must first acknowledge them as ego-produced constructs. In search of comfort and approval, ask yourself, why am I so tied to this individual or result, and what desire or fear is causing this understanding? Your attachment's origins is the first step in releasing its hold and envisioning yourself leading a life based on love instead of ego. Imagine if you could have faith in the universe's abundance and think that the right thing for you will find its way. This is a tremendous mental shift. About realizing your intrinsic value and potential, separate from other influences elements. You'll start to see the pointless when you start to perceive your connections and ambitions through this lens. Accepting the idea of abundance and the weight they add to your life is vital, since the universe often rewards you when you let go of your fear of losing something. Detachment does not imply that you don't care about anything more than what you let go of. Signifies you have a deeper understanding of it. It entails remaining loyal to who you are and let love lead you, instead of fear, as you travel down the path of detachment. Transformative. It involves removing ego layers to reveal the resilient beneath it all lies a love-filled soul that is eager to move forward with ease, free from the weight of attachment, and set aside time to prioritize your needs and extend an open heart to receive fresh blessings. Choosing inner calm over outside approval opens the door to a life of genuine rule number 3, emotional liberty and contentment. The delusion of control. Do you occasionally feel as though your happiness depends on the approval or conduct of others? Feel that you can influence the results of your relationships if you only put in enough effort and emotions. This is a prevalent fallacy that many of us experience the illusion of control. It's essential for emotional stability to comprehend and destroy this illusion. Personal independence and detachment. Our ego frequently deceives us into believing that we may influence outside circumstances and other people's responses. This delusion causes us to give too much weight to what other people think of us, which can lead to emotional clinging and reliance. In comparison to the Stoic philosopher Epicurus correctly stated, "It doesn't matter what occurs to you, what matters is how you respond to it." This proverb emphasizes a key Stoic lesson. While we cannot control when we hold on to the external happenings, we have power over how we react to them. Illusion of control. We could start to idolize specific people and putting them on pedestals and thinking that our value depends on getting their approval. Mentality produces a warped reality in which we regard other people as having something that is out of reach. But when we take these illusions away, we see that everyone is equally vulnerable and human, and none has a special pass that makes their inherent superiority or greater merit. To destroy this delusion, begin by realizing that a large portion of what we think we can manage is actually beyond our acknowledging. Our influence can be both freeing and humbling. Realizing we have no power over the behavior or emotions of others enables us to concentrate on what we may regulate our own ideas, feelings, and personal development. By turning within, we can develop resilience and self-assurance, for example, rather than requesting confirmation from other people. Remember yourself to affirm yourself. Recognize your individual strengths and attributes on a frequent basis, and know that your worth is independent of others. This technique is in line with another Stoic lesson from Marcus Aurelius. You have control over your thinking, not when external events acknowledge this. You will find resilience in enjoying the plenty. Another useful tactic is to acknowledge the size of the universe, and when you pause, there is an abundance of love, success, and happiness to be shared. When you let go of your fear of losing a specific person or situation, you let go of your inhibitions and possibilities in relationships. This comprehension enables you to freely adore. It enables you to value relationships without feeling a frantic attachment while preserving your independence and sense of value. And don't forget to enforce being emotionally detached is realizing that your completeness matters, not changing to become someone else. Internalize these Stoic concepts and not rely on the presence of others. You develop a strong emotional resilience that equips you to handle life's uncertainties with grace. Illusion of control, and accept the freeing realization that real power comes from rule number 4. Detachment in your own thoughts practice. Have you ever been unable to let go of former relationships or experiences and found yourself clinging to them? It's common to ponder what may happen if you held on to something so firmly that it aches, and you're terrified to let go of it. But suppose letting go may result in something much more beneficial. Let's examine how to apply detachment in our drawing practice. On the Stoic philosophy's wisdom, as Epicurus sagely observed, prosperity relies not. This idea is applicable when one has a lot of goods, but few desires. Due to emotional attachment, are you prepared to let go of the past and create space for the future? Potentials. Picture yourself clinging to a rope so firmly that your hands. The truth is that letting go is the answer, but you're afraid to let go because you're not sure what will happen if you do. Does not imply that you will never fall. Rather, it indicates that you can now extend your hands and strive for even greater things. I had to discover this the hard way when I held on to a cozy relationship without realizing I was in it because it felt safe. Closing doors to possible pleasure that has how many times knocked on my door. Have you ever acted in a similar manner, reluctant to let go of what you know, out of fear of the truth bomb that is unknown is that FOMO, or the fear of missing out, is similar to seeing other people's real-time social media highlights as you consider yourself to be missing out on life. But keep in mind that social media is a once I stopped browsing. The filtered snapshot was intended to showcase beautiful moments. Through other people's experiences and began to live my own, I lost my hold on it. Do you find yourself comparing other people's lives to your own all the time? It's time to escape the circle of not being aware of every aspect of someone else's. Being totally present in your own life does not imply that you are missing out on anything. Creating lifelong memories that are unique to you and you alone, and attaching yourself to a fictitious letting go can feel tough when you're happy and witness others enjoying their best life and worry that you're slipping behind. But keep in mind that grass is only as green as it seems. Though it appears greener from a distance, up close you can notice that it has some brown areas. Additionally, fostering an appearance of perfection in the lives of others robs them of joy. No matter how quickly you move, trying to catch up to a hologram on your own is like racing on a treadmill. It's not real, so you'll never get there. Detachment isn't about giving up. To define happiness on your own terms and to emotionally distance yourself from others, read on. The Stoic idea of concentrating on your thoughts and what you can control. It is liberating to understand that no one's opinion or history matters. Your actions and growth relationship has the capacity to transcend even a flawlessly manicured life on social media. Determine your value or level of satisfaction. This insight is your shield, enabling you to proceed free from needless attachments and able to take in life in all of its erratic splendor and remain receptive to the truly satisfying relationships that are just around the corner. Keep in mind that letting go isn't rule number 5. The route is a brave step toward the life you genuinely deserve. Have you ever questioned why true happiness frequently appears just out of reach when it comes to happiness? Dependent on the whims of others or outside factors, what if the secret to lasting? In this section, you are the source of happiness regardless of the impact of others. We will discuss the Stoic route to happiness and the ways in which emotional detachment can result in a more robust and profound joy. Where does true value originate? Is a question whose answer has the power to change our course. Moving away from pointless ties and in the direction of emotional freedom, as Epicus sagely observed, prosperity does not lie in accumulating large goods, but rather in having minimal desires. This profound insight encourages us to focus within, instead of knowing. This idea is important for our sense of satisfaction and worth, because it is external, very important when the difficulty is separating from someone you don't care about, cutting relationships, not out of hatred or apathy, but rather realizing that the deepest kind of friendship, as it turns out, the one you have with yourself, is the true value you'll ever possess, originates from your inner self, your discernment, and how frequently you treat other people. We make the error of thinking that being with someone else is necessary for us to be happy. Our lives, where our value increases or decreases based on their acceptance, ignore this mentality, and we become enslaved to the caprices of consider a bird that feels it needs permission to fly. We restrict instead, the sentimental skies envision discovering that the sky has always been open and ready for you to take off on your own terms. Being independent frees us by showing us that our worth is constant. Detachment from other people's ideas or presence isn't an act of putting someone else out of our reach while concentrating on personal development and become the greatest selves we can be freed from. The burdensome weight of neediness is similar to taking care of a garden. You wouldn't beg. You must tend to the soil, water the plants, and have faith in order for a single blossom to grow. The organic process by which we grow a blooming garden, by concentrating on self-improvement, whomever decides to stroll through it or appreciate its splendor, this nurture develops into an autonomous, resilient source of happiness and incredibly fulfilling, but how can we walk this emotional detachment path? It begins with the realizing that whether someone affirms you, you are whole. Your quest is to explore the vastness of your own sky and grow to appreciate the freedom that comes with flight. When needed, go it alone. Accept the wisdom of Stoicism. Concentrate on your inner, manage your ideas, your behavior, and your personal development. This does not include giving up. It entails protecting your heart or ignoring love and connection. Emotional anchor in the solid foundation of your existence. Keep in mind that your value isn't a puzzle with a missing component, that is a work of art in progress that is finished as is still willing to incorporate additional beauty from the surroundings. Rule number 6. Accept the moment as it is. Do you frequently find yourself dwelling on the past or worrying about? One effective technique to emotionally distance oneself from the present is to embrace the future. You discover inner serenity via this very Stoic technique. Philosophy urges us to fully embrace the present moment and live in the now. Marcus, instead of getting engulfed in the past or the future, famous Stoic philosopher Aurelius once observed, "Restrict oneself to the." This assertion emphasizes the significance of Stoic knowledge and its core. When you dwell on the past instead of the present, you could discover you find yourself dwelling on unpleasant memories or clinging to the past. In a similar vein, worrying about the future frequently leads to unwarranted anxiety over things that haven't occurred and might not happen, but you can avoid both of these behaviors by being alert and appreciating the richness of the moment. A good method to practice mindfulness in the present moment is to pay attention to paying judgment-free attention to your present situation entails actively participating in anything you're doing, be it eating, strolling, or having a talk, while observing the specifics, the food's flavor, and the texture of the earth, the other person's voice beneath your feet. By fully submerging yourself in these encounters, help you stay grounded in the here and now, which helps lessen emotions of clinging to the past or the future. Practicing mindfulness can greatly improve your capacity to remain in the now during meditation. For example, improves your ability to concentrate in the present moment. Even with basic breathing techniques can help you return your focus to the here and now. Consider allocating a short period of time each day to these exercises. With time, you'll discover that regrets from the past or the future are less of a distraction. Anxiety. Living in the present also entails recognizing your advantages. Now practice being grateful for the little things and easy joys in your life. Life can change your perspective by focusing on what is abundant rather than what is missing. It's simpler to release burdensome attachments when you live in the now. As soon as you lay the groundwork for emotional stability and clarity, practice enables you to face life's obstacles with serenity and clarity, enhancing your life's experiences. 7th rule, completely and happily rethink your rephrasing. Your ideas is an effective technique for emotional detachment. It is altering your perspective and interpretation of events in order to assist you in overcoming unfavorable mental processes and effective ties. In the Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius reportedly said that the soul takes on the hue of its ideas. By altering your ideas, you can alter your emotional state and general viewpoint on life. Begin by recognizing the unfavorable ideas that continue to. They may contain convictions such as, "I can't live without this person. I'll never find another one, and thinking about them makes me happy." Make you feel dependent and powerless. When you see these tendencies is the first step in altering them. After that, confront these ideas. By when you doubt their veracity, consider if the following is indeed true. How much proof do I have for this belief? Frequently, you'll discover that when ideas are inflated or unjustified, this awareness may lessen their hold. After you've recognized and confronted your negative thoughts, focus on your feelings. Swap them out for neutral or positive ones, rather than "I can't live without." This person should know that I'm capable of achieving contentment and pleasure on my own. Replace me. I'll never find another person with so many opportunities. Love and connection are what these new ideas should represent in my future. A more impartial and empowering viewpoint to support these new mental practices on a regular basis. Make a list of positive remarks about yourself and your potential for success. If you independently read these affirmations aloud every day and over time, they can assist in rewiring your brain to have a more optimistic perspective. In addition, your attempts to reframe your situation can be aided by mindfulness practices like meditation. Ideas awareness enables you to watch and become conscious of your thinking patterns without passing judgment. Modify them more successfully. Reframing your ideas requires ongoing work. However, a continuous practice by persistently confronting and altering your unfavorable convictions, you develop emotional fortitude and increase your responses. This mental change cultivates a feeling of detachment and inner power, enabling you to proceed with assurance and clarity. Rule number 8. Establish a healthy. Do you find it difficult to establish limits or say no to people when they're setting healthy? Setting limits is essential for emotional detachment, since they safeguard your well-being and provide you authority over, determine in your emotional space what actions are appropriate and inappropriate, and respectfully convey these to others while acknowledging your own boundaries. Reaffirm your value and lessen your reliance on other people for approval, or setting limits helps you establish your happy place and where you stop. And someone else starts this habit aids in avoiding emotional entanglement and encourages independence. For example, if a person behaves in a way that making you anxious, gently but firmly state that you need space or a change. This is about defending your space in interactions, not about shoving people away. Mental and emotional well-being. While you set these boundaries, keep in mind that setting limits shows others that you respect yourself and your needs more than theirs. Setting boundaries that are consistent throughout time promotes healthier partnerships. It's a proactive move founded on respect and understanding for one another, moving in the direction of emotional independence so that your mental health isn't dependent on other people's behavior or approval. By establishing and upholding healthy boundaries, you establish a secure emotional space in which you can thrive. Allows you to concentrate on your own development and well-being, strengthening your sense of self and improving your general rule number 9 of the quality of life. Engage in self-care. When was the last time you indulged in something that was exclusively for you? Self-care is necessary for developing resilience and emotional detachment. Independent Life Serbia was a firm believer in the value of individual well-being, emphasizing that a sound body with a sound mind is a brief yet full defining a pleasant state in our world. Self-care entails setting priorities, physical activity for mental, emotional, and physical well-being meditation, and, for example, not only enhances your health, but also generates endorphins that improve your mood. Engaging in mindfulness activities can help you focus your thoughts and lessen stress. Interests and passions serve a vital role in maintaining mental clarity and emotional stability. Whether it's drawing, reading, gardening, or engaging in other self-care activities, these pursuits make you happy and fulfilled, which reduces your dependence. Focusing on others for pleasure in addition to spending time with close ones, whose encouragement and support strengthens your sense of belonging, and the goal of belonging self-care is to live a balanced lifestyle that upholds your wellness. By looking for yourself, you create a solid foundation that enables you to confidently face life's obstacles. It allows you to emotionally distance yourself from people, not because of coldness, but from a position of inner power and confidence, knowing that taking care of oneself first is the essential step in creating a happy, independent life. Rule number 10. Express thanks. Have you ever noticed that dwelling on your shortcomings can increase your sense of attachment to what you lack? Gratitude exercises can dramatically alter your viewpoint, enabling you to remove yourself from someone's emotional orbit. By sincerely recognizing and valuing the good things in your life, you cultivate an attitude of plenty, instead of then being grateful for scarcity, enables you to see the worth in what you currently have, which lessens the need for what you believe you're lacking. For instance, make a list of 3 things every day. You are appreciative of things which might be as basic as a bright day or encouraging. This exercise refocuses your attention from what's missing, like a wonderful dinner or a companion. The philosopher Epicurus advised living in the moment and finding fulfillment in what you do. Remember that what you have today was once among the few things you only had, so try not to ruin what you have by wishing for what you do not have. Longed for enlightenment serves as a reminder to treasure the blessings we currently have, rather than focusing on our shortcomings. Instead of being grateful, improves our emotional health and creates a defense against the anguish of detachment. As you develop the habit of with thankfulness, it will be simpler for you to let go of things that don't serve you anymore, making room for a more tranquil and a happy existence.